Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Tank Bangers. I'm Joe Abadi. We've got a few things to go over today, some things I worked on over the weekend because I wanted to bring you the answers to a few questions, and let's get started with that right away. And, well, here. This is a little, well, it's not an experiment. It's something I had done years ago. A lot of people have asked the question, can you put air in a tank to get the dents out? No, you can't. Not on aluminum tanks. I've tried it on steel. I've gotten it pretty close. But anyway, this is a device I made, pretty professional, if I don't mind saying so myself. This is a device that I made, and it will allow you to introduce air into the tank. There's a petcock that's all in place. Now, the first thing I did was turn on my compressor. I got it up to about 50 pounds. I have that valve on there. So I was able to control the air pressure that was going into the tank. So I wanted to show you two videos that I made, very, very short. I sort of regret making them in hyperspeed, hyperlapse, but you'll see what I'm talking about. Here it is. I've introduced maybe not even 5 pounds of air in the tank. And that isn't the video I'm looking for. Oh, yes, it is. Hang on. You see where it just barely starts to spread apart, and I don't even have 5 pounds of air in that tank, and it starts to push the sides out a little bit. But I had a bit of a larger problem than that, and that was I couldn't maintain the pressure in the tank because I had a leak. And you'll see right here how I check for that. Put the air in, little soapy water, and you're on your way to finding out that you have a leak in the tank. One more time. So I would recommend this. If you want to find out if you have a leak in your tank, yeah, it'd be a good idea to make something like this. Or you could just, I guess you could take an old gas cap like that, drill a hole in it, and put a Schrader valve in there. Schrader valve is the same thing that's in your inner tube, except it's threaded. You'll see them on the top of forks sometimes. You could put one of those in there, introduce a little air into the tank, a pound or two. You could put it in the water. You could see if it leaks. You could spray soapy water on it and see if you have a bubble pop up the same way I did yesterday. All right. I'm going to be doing a little bit more with that tank in the near future to show you about the dents. I'm even going to try, probably going to have it welded by Daryl to get the leak fixed first. And after that, I'm going to do something with air and heating up the dent. We're going to try a couple of things, maybe strapping it. I don't know. I don't really know if, let me put it this way. I don't know if I'm here to show you that I can do it or to prove to you that it can't be done. But either way, I'm going to give it my best shot. Okay. I don't know if I mentioned that today's sponsor is the International Motocross Museum. Be sure to visit them online at the internationalmotocrossmuseum.org. Fabulous Facebook page. Get over to their website, International Motocross Museum. If you are watching the show, how about telling me where you're watching the show from? Which state are you in? I don't mean mentally. I'm talking about physically. Which state are you in? And we'll get right to work on, we're back on the Tyler McGregor tank. And if Tyler's watching, I'm sure he's real happy about that this morning. And let's get the camera over there. There it is. Now, this happens to be the most difficult dent of all to get out of gas tanks. The dent that's on the top of the tank. You'll see this a lot on Elsinore tanks. Well, you'll see it on a lot of tanks, especially aluminum ones. And I don't know if I have one here that, I don't really have one here other than the one that's actually up there. We talked about this a little bit last week on an RM tank. Right through the center of almost every tank is a weld mark. Not a weld mark, but a weld bead inside the tank. You can see a little bit of it right here on the external part of the tank. where it goes around this little horseshoe shape here. But through the center, I know on Suzuki's, Yamaha's, and certainly Honda's, there is a weld down that tank. Now, I've already drilled a hole in the center of this tank. And I think it makes sense for me to show you one more time on the full screen because I don't have the camera quite. Let me do this. Let me show you here. Let me show you on this tank because it happens to be a YZ tank. I've got a hole drilled on the bottom in the middle to get the dent top tank that's over in the vise. The problem you have is that you can only swing this tool around so much area. You follow what I'm saying? And the dent that we have over there, it's off to the left a little bit. So I had to drill my hole off to the left as much as I could. Now, I can only drill it so far over because the tank is curved on top. You sometimes will have to drill two holes in order to get the dent out of the top of the tank. There has been occasions where I've had to drill through. Look, you'll see it again. It's at the top of the tank, but I try and do it with as few access holes as possible. So let's keep that in mind. All right, we got this tank here. We've got this over here. All right. And first thing I want to do is show you exactly how big that dent is. I'll take a little 180 grit sandpaper. Oh, you can see it pretty good now, huh? Okay. I'm going to get in there from the access hole that I drilled. And remember, guys, most of the time, it's, how can I say it? It's experimental almost every day because I'm doing it for you live on the show. I'm drilling the hole where I think it needs to go. I'm using tools that I believe will work best in this situation. But it is a bit of an experiment, and that's the way it goes with every dent you have. Everyone is different. Kind of keeps the job interesting. But anyway. See, now, let me show you. I'm all the way, I don't think you can't see the front of the, I'm already hitting the left side of the tank with the tool, and I'm not all the way over to where this dent is. But one thing at a time. And I can only get so far up here because it's hitting the other side of the tank. But we're going to try our best and we'll work through it together, and I'll show you how I would do it, and someday you might be in there doing it yourself. So I've been trying to add more and more content in different ways to the Vintage Motocross Q&A page. This is I think this is our 4th week at Tank Bangers. And I think it's our 3rd week at the Moto Minute. Now, today, starting today at noon, I've got another segment coming up every weekday at noon called Next Time Try This. Next Time Try This is a great little segment on our Wednesday show. Tips are sent in via video from people who help out with the show. Robert Oscar Pomeroy, Roy Vanderveer. Of course, I've been doing Next Time Try This segments for about 5 years now. And they're nice little videos that'll show you different things and how to approach it on bikes, from maintenance to repair, maybe removing snapped off bolts. There's just a lot of stuff coming up every day at noon on Next Time Try This. That's on Facebook at Vintage Motocross Q&A and also on YouTube. Don't forget to comment where you might be watching the show from, or if you have anything you want to add to the show, anything you want to say. That looks pretty good. Who's watching this morning? Anybody? No comments yet? Yeah, we got 3 people, 2 or 3 people watching. All right. Anyway, I'm sure I'll see the comments as they come in. Share the show. Let your friends know that we're here every weekday at 9. See, I'm only able to get so far over. And right now, right about here is about as far over as I can get. There is a little dent, or the big dent does go over to the middle of the tank. I'll get to that. I'll get some other type of tool in there, and we'll get to work on that at some point too. In the meantime, let's see how far we can get with what we have. You know what I wanted to do? I wanted to show you before I began how I have this mounted. This way you'll be able to do it if you want to make an attempt at this. Let's see if I can get this on camera here. Yeah, see that? I've got a bolt through the mounting area of the back of the tank. I make it a little longer so the nut sits in the jaws. So the nut sits in the jaws of the vise, and it's stabilized that way. I could really torque down on that, tighten up the vise. And from the front, you can see what I have here. I have a big nylon block underneath right here. Kind of keeps things level. So when I pry down on that tank, it doesn't move around at all. And I've got my ratchet strap that, well, as I was mentioning earlier, things are experimental sometimes. You don't know exactly how it's going to go. You do the best you can, and you learn through each and every step. So that's how that worked out. Okay, let's get things back to the way they were and see if we got a good angle here. I think we need to go back a little bit more. Okay. think we got a pretty good view of what's happening there now, right? Yes, that's right. I am drinking out of the Amsoil cup. Yeah? Okay. Now, by the way, this tool you see me use quite often, and it's got this nub on the end here, and that really helps a lot when I'm prying up. It tells me, or it creates those little dimples in the area I'm working on. In this situation, because of the shape of the dent, how can I say it? The metal moves very, very easily because I'm prying very, very close. My access hole is very, very close to the damage. It's not like the damage is back here and my access hole is here and I don't have as much leverage. I've got a lot of leverage. So I'm using this side. I'm using the flat side as not to create little high spots or high spots that are going to get out of control. Okay? I just wanted to mention that. Let's see where we are here. Kind of getting close to the point of where I can't swing it any further over. Oh, but you know what I have? You know what I have that I think will work really good on this? Remember the rotisserie rod from last week? Look, every little bit helps. And while it may not get me all the way over here, it could help me. It could help me back here. That's right. I don't have a rotisserie on my grill anymore. No rotisserie, because I took this rod off there and I bent it. Had a little point on the end already. Yeah. And it gives me a little bit more, just a little bit more swing inside the tank. Now the good news is it's getting me over here where I couldn't get with the other tool. It's getting me over to the middle. And every little bit helps. A little ventilation would be nice. Okay. Who's watching? Kim Ketchum, Larry L. Terry. Thank you for watching today, guys. Got a comment here from Kim. Kim is watching. You could always share the show. We're on Facebook and YouTube. Get your friends to come over here every day at 9 to get a little glimpse of what we do here at Tank Bangers. All right. Let's get back to... Oh, you know what I'd like to mention while I'm here? Just briefly, if you don't mind. Celebrate the 5th annual Moto Barn event with special guests and speakers. This is all put on free by George Ackerman. That happens down in Ruther Glen, Virginia. Ruther Glen, Virginia, October 25th from 10 to 4. There's a mini Moto Barn that has mini bikes in it. There's the Moto Barn with an incredible amount of memorabilia and beautiful motorcycles. There's a bike show outside. The weather is generally absolutely perfect at the end of October in Ruther Glen, Virginia. Thank you, George Ackerman. Now, let's get back to the dent at hand. Oh, as I was mentioning earlier, you know, I did talk about a weld being right down the middle of many of the tanks. What's the, other than letting you know that there's a weld inside that tank, what problem does it cause? Very hard to move weld. Very hard to pry and manipulate weld any place on a tank. Whether a tank's been welded on a dent or it had a crack, whatever it might be. But inside here, very difficult for a couple of reasons. Number one, as you know, a weld isn't even. It isn't flat. It's got a bead. It's hard to get something pointy and to stay on that bead inside there, to lift that area. So keep that in mind if you're anywhere. Keep that in mind if you're going to attempt doing something like this, all right? Where are you? Here you are. See, right now I'm having difficulty keeping the point of that tool right on that weld. Very difficult. But I don't know if you could see it. They are coming up. Let me do this, and maybe you could see that. See that right there? Not bad. Not bad at all. I hope everyone had a nice 4th of July weekend. I know I did. Got to see some beautiful fireworks in the town where I live. Hope it was a safe one for all of you. Prayers for those down in Texas who had an extremely tragic weekend. I think it's in Kerrville. Terrible tragedy. Okay. I'm going to pry up a little bit more on there. I don't know if you could see it. Let me take a look in the big camera. Where am I? Right about here. Here. Just in front of my finger. Right over here. I don't know how well you can see that, but you know, I'm going to try this. I'm going to come in a little closer. I'm going to go up a little higher. I'm going to tilt a little more. Oh, now you can see it. Now you can definitely see it. Now, I have created just a little bit of a high spot because, as I said to you, when you start prying and you're on that weld, more of the area comes up than just the little dent. So, all right, I'm going to take a little bit of this down with a file, just a hair. Okay. We're close. We're close. I'm going to have to come back again anyway to do a little more sanding. So, but I want to try and get more of this out. And you remember how big that dent was when we got started at the beginning of the show. Oh, I just discovered another access hole that I have underneath to get this dent on the side out. There's a way to do that, but I'm not real thrilled about. Well, let's see what happens here. Let's see if I can show you another little trick I use once in a while. I've got the hole up in here, and I don't know. Hang on. This might be not big enough. It does fit in there. I don't know where it is though. It'll help a little bit, but it won't help much. I've got a bolt here, old axle, whatever it is. I've put a point on it. And I had a hole here to work on the side of the tank. And that hole has given me some access to this. Not a lot, because it's in the side of the tank, and I can only, no different than the front, I can only move it so much. But I'm right there. I don't know. I'm just going to tap on it a little bit. I'm not really seeing it move. I don't know. It's not the most, well, none of it is very scientific when you think about it. So for me to say it's not a very scientific way to do it, none of this is that scientific. Anyway, came up a little bit. I mean, I'm going to keep trying. I mean, if that's working a little bit and it's hard to get the tool this way over, I think that's a good way to approach this. I'm going to move the camera a bit of a better angle on what I'm trying to work on. But I still want to give you a pretty good view too. That looks okay. I think I have the worst connection. Oh no, I guess the connection is pretty good. Jeff Kokoski, Jeff Belly. Thanks for joining me. Jeff Kokoski, big contributor to Vintage Motocross Q&A, comes up with those great Did You Know segments every week. He'll have another one for us this week, Wednesday night, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Okay. I'm using this in a hole that I drilled to repair the side. I'm just going straight up in there. And if it only means that I could get a 1/4 of an inch over, well, then that's what it is. And then I got to try something else after that. I've done these on Elsinore tanks where just about the whole top just caved in. All right, we made a little headway here. Something. A little bit less in the future that we're going to have to deal with. Hang on. They got a little more. No, I think that's about it. That's about all she wrote. Now, sometimes, you have a bolt like this, which may be, I don't know, 10 millimeters. Sometimes you'll get one that's a little bit thinner, maybe an 8 or a 6, but it's long. And just that little bit will give you another 1/4 of an inch to work with as you're trying to get that dent out. Oh, this might be good. But I'm going to have to be careful. I'll show you what this is in just a second. All right, now the magnet is all the way up here, which tells me the tool is all the way up there, but I got to be careful. Here's the deal. This is actually a punch, but it's long and it's slender. And I've got a little bit of I dulled the tip a bit. I could probably cut this thing down and make it a little duller. Sometimes I like to use this. Maybe I have a dime-sized dent on the top, something really small, and I don't want to lift it too much, too fast. I'll get up in there with this, and it'll raise whatever I'm working on. This is the situation I was just talking to you about a moment ago, where it allows me to swing a little bit more in that access hole underneath. Gives me a little more room to swing around in there. If I could find it again, it would be nice. There it is. And I'm just about up here. Let's see what we get. Where are we here? Down here. For some reason, it's not giving me a whole lot of movement in the metal here. Could be because it's too pointy. I don't know. Just not giving me what I'm looking for. Getting some, but not a lot. Gotta try plan B. I think I'm going to go back in. I think I'm going to go back in with the rotisserie rod. You know it's Monday on Vintage Motor Thrust Q&A Tank Bangers because the garbage truck is outside. All right. I don't think that's going to help me. I'll show you in a second what I'm doing. I don't know if you could see that. Where the hell am I? There it is. I've got one of my bolts in there and a pair of channel locks or vice grips. And depending on if it's long enough, and I'm not going to be prying this way with the curve going up. I'm going to be prying this way. This way, my vice grip will be too close to the top of the tank. So I'm going to use it this way and see how well, if at all, we can get it in there. All right, I think that looks, here's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to move this forward a little bit. My nylon block. Kind of preventing me from swinging around in there. I don't know if that's going to make it better or worse. Not so good. Move it back more. It's just in the worst spot. Okay. Maybe that'll do it. Torque down on the ratchet strap a little bit. We're still very solid there. And let's try it again. Nope. If I twist it that way a little bit. I'm working on it, guys. What I'm trying to do is get this up in that access hole, and I want to have it. See how the vice grip is straight in the screen, but this is going this way? Well, if I do that, I might be able to get just a little bit further over on that dent, and every little bit helps. So let's get back up in there again. Not getting over far enough. I'm not getting over far enough. Nope. All right, let's go back to try it what we were doing before. Approaching it from the bottom of the tank. Now, I was also thinking, but I can't do that. Camera here for a second. In order to get to where that dent is, if it were an Elsinore tank, but it's not, obviously. Technically, you see this hole right here? That's what I'm working through on the other side of that tank. It's a hole, all right? And I'm trying to get a dent out of the top. If it were an Elsinore tank and a lot of other tanks, I would drill a hole back here. And it would give me access to the top. But I can't really do that on this tank because of that double plating that Yamaha has put underneath there. I don't want to drill through here because I would be afraid that it's going to leak through either that plate or this plate when I'm done. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be patient, just go the way I'm going. And if it takes me a little longer, it takes me a little longer. But I'm not going to run the risk of drilling a hole, both of those plates, having it leak, and then having to remove. Here, you want to remove that? I don't think you do. And neither do I. So, I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but I'll try anything at this point. I don't think I could get anything down through there. Come on, where are you? Hello, where are you? All right, I got to move this block a little forward again. So I'm going to loosen up the ratchet strap, bring this guy a little closer. Okay, we're good. And you'll learn too, guys, that, you try something, it doesn't work. You try something else, it works a little bit better. You try 3 other things, they don't work at all. And you wind up going back to what you started with in the beginning sometimes. You look for easier ways to do it. Sometimes you can't. So you go back to what maybe took a little longer, or maybe you had a tough angle, or whatever it may be. But now, could I have taken this tank out of here, turned it upside down, and started hitting it from the top or from the bottom, but driving it this way, though, driving it up, but the tank upside down? Yeah. But I can't see what's going on. I could tap it a couple times, turn it over. I could do that. But I like to watch exactly what's happening as I'm doing it. All right. A little low here, a little low here. Nothing we can't handle. A little low here. This is the area that's a problem child, though. So I'm going to stay right here right now. Too short. No better. It's hard to keep talking, guys, and keep working. I get a little out of breath after an hour. You know? Come over here and check and see if we got any comments. Red tank, real tank banging today. You got that right, T. Can't wait to see work being done. Wrong camera. Wrong camera for me? Or wrong camera for you? Oh, I'm on the wrong camera. I'm sorry, guys. All right. You missed all the action. Sorry about that. Someday I'll have a cameraman, maybe. Who knows? All right. I got a little bit of a high spot here from all the banging and hooping and hollering. I want to get the old. Sorry about that, guys. I had the wrong camera on. All right, getting better. What I've been doing is using a bolt like this with a blunt end, and it's a little hard to swing a hammer underneath there, swing it up. So I've been using this dolly, which weighs about 5 pounds. And it's working pretty good so far. Position, plus it's held down on the front and firmly in the vise. Because if it starts to move around a little bit, you lose a lot of your, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, your energy is absorbed in the work moving. So your energy that you're using to use the tools to hammer on it, to bang on it, to pry on it, you lose that when it's moving. Sorry about that camera angle, guys. Come on, baby, where are you? Oh, there you are. All right. Yeah. Too much of an angle from the hole. As I bang on it, it's slipping this way. That's okay. We'll get that figured out a little bit later. In the meantime, I think we're going to have a lot of luck right about here getting this area up. I'm going to keep right on going today, guys. I'm not going to stop at 10. I'm in a bit of a groove here. I feel really good. So I'm going to keep right on going. If you want to hang in with me, that's great. If not, you could always come back and watch it a little bit later. But I'm hanging in for a while. Now, I think I'm going to go back to the front again for just a second to see if I can get the rotisserie rod to help me. Because it really did help me right about here at one point. Let me turn the camera around a little bit for you so you could see what I'm working on right here. Going back in with this guy. Put the magnet on it, see where we are. Close. Oh, right on it. Right on it. Right on it. Oh, that was a good one. Okay. Let's get a look at it. I'll show you with a little sandpaper. Very fine sandpaper. See how those dimples come up? Can you see them there? Sure you can. Right there. See how those dimples came up when I was prying in there? I'm going to do a little bit more toward the center. Hello. Okay. Got it. Got it. Got it. It's a little high. That's okay with me. Not too high. Just enough to where I could work it down a little bit. All right. Got a little one right here. Just a little bit. I don't know if I can get it with that same rod. Maybe. Close. But the rod keeps twisting on me a little bit. Today we start a new segment on Vintage Motocross Q&A. It happens at 12 o'clock. It's called Next Time Try This. Next Time Try This segment has been a part of Vintage Motocross Q&A for 5 years now. It's a nice little segment of the show where I have in the past contributed a lot to it. And it's usually a 3, 4, 5 minute segment. And it talks about all types of different things that you could try next time you have a problem or you have a question it's not really a Q&A thing, that part of the show. It's more of a do-it-yourself or explanation segment, but we get a lot of people that love it, ask questions about it, and we've got a lot of contributors for it too, including Robert Oscar Pomeroy. I think even Jeff Kokoski was in on something on that one time, but certainly Roy Vanderveer, Roger Neff from BRAP Suspension, and a couple other guys too. So at 12 o'clock today, the first episode of that will be on Vintage Motocross Q&A. It will be on Facebook as well as YouTube, and you'll be able to see a next time try this segment every weekday at noon. And we've got interviews coming up too. A lot of interviews that I've done over the past 5 years, including Sue Fish, Garrett Wolsink, Steve Stackable, Steve Wise, Dave Arnold, Tommy Croft, just a lot coming up in the queue. And we're going to be running those interviews. I think by the way the schedule looks, it's going to happen on Thursdays and Sundays. But it's funny. I have over 450 between shows and interviews and next time try this, probably more. I have over 450 standalone segments that I could post. More than a show every day or for over a year. So stick around. A lot of good stuff coming up on Vintage Motocross Q&A. Maybe, baby. I don't think I can reach that from here. Oh, just a little short. Just a little short. See that right there? See that low spot? Okay. Now, probably going to ask, Joe, what did you get up in there with? How'd you do that? I did it with this piece of rebar. I bent like that. Yep, that's what I did it with. Got a little something happening down here yet. Nothing too serious. If I got it this far, I could get it all the way. The big one is still right here. Right here. Sweating, guys. Sweating, I tell you. Do a wheel spin. Yeah, I did. I did, so I was able to get everything back to where you guys could actually see it. Okay. Did you guys see down there where that, right here? That's about our biggest problem right now. And I'm going to get right to that in just a second. Okay. Oh, that's not even close. Not even close. All right. Right there. Problem is, I don't have any swing room. What if I did this? Not really, guys. This feels nice through here. I might be a little high right here as well as low. Oh. Okay. Now, I still got this, and I got a little spot over here. Question is, can I? All right. Maybe. Oh, wrong hammer. I've got that piece of rebar up in there, and I'm pushing up on it. While I'm doing a little hammering from the top. why I didn't put this fan on sooner. All right, I'm going to run my longboard across here. I mean, I could really see where they are, but give me a little bit of a... Oh, does that fan feel good? A little bit of a break here on the sanding. It'll give you an idea of how far we've come in almost an hour and a half. It was a huge dent all the way up to here. Okay. A little shallow one here, a little shallow one here. Even though it's slow going, you got to stick to what works and be patient. Not really on the mark right there. Let's turn this thing. See what we get. Yeah, fellas, and when you hear me whisper under my breath, saying, let's turn this thing, let's see if that works. I don't know, that looks good. That's what happens all day when I'm not on the camera. Where are you little skunk? Oh, right there. Right there. All right, let's see if I got the rebar in there. The one that's curved like this. I'm going to get a pair of vice grips on it on this end. And let's see. Might flex a bit. The rebar's not that rigid, but you know what I could do? And it would give me that, it would give me a little hammer on dolly might work in that situation. That's not what I wanted. Uh-huh. See those little dots coming up? I'm not hearing it. Sounds kind of hollow. That's because I'm back there and not over here. Now I got a cramp in my hand. Oh. Getting smaller. John Deemer, Moto Joe, Lenny Roberts, Mike Moto Goose, Jeff Kokoski, Jeff Bailey, Kim Ketchum, Larry Terry. Thanks for all hanging in with me today. I'm going to continue on working on this 10. Usually I go an hour, but I'm in a bit of a groove today. I'm feeling pretty good. And I don't have to worry about running out of content. I'm sure when you come back tomorrow morning, oh, Lord, I found another dent on the other side. Oh. I hate when that happens. Sort of. I don't know if you could see it. I know you could see my hand going across here. I don't know if you could see the dent, but well, there's definitely one there. There's definitely one there. Yeah. Okay. Let's get back to these guys right here and try and get that situation resolved today. No. Oh, okay. I knew you were there somewhere. All right, that one I might be able to do something with from, well, maybe. I don't know. Sometimes you got to go back and forth with all the little steps you've taken. Things that didn't work an hour ago, you know, on a certain dent, depending on how it was damaged and where you're working. And sometimes you go back and just one little thing works again. Doesn't work in a very big fashion, doesn't take out a whole dent, but it could go, you could go back there and find out that whatever it is you tried earlier, it didn't work well. It might work now in that one little area. Guess what? This isn't working out. It didn't work out then. It's not going to work out now. All right. Okay. We're down to right here. It's very shallow. I'm going to go across that with a little 320 just to bring up visually what's going on there. Right there. Right there. Everybody looks for a good stand for their bike. McCaffer work stands. I've had two of them for over 20 years. They work perfectly. Powder coated, got a handle on the end, got that bar that's angled so you don't trip over it in the pit when you're racing and you look like a jerk. Be sure to get a hold of Gordon McCaffer at 315-729-8415. He's also on Facebook, Gordon McCaffer. Not bad. Got a little something going on right here. Could be a high spot where I was just prying a little bit. Could be. I think it is. Or could be a little low spot right next to it. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to move the camera because I need to have complete access to the side. So I'm going to do this and pan up, or tilt up rather. Give you a look at the whole top of the tank. There's all the special tools today, of course, that cannot be bought in stores. That's how I fix gas tanks. What I'm going to do now is get out my flexi ruler, 12-inch stainless steel. I'm going to lay a piece of 180 across that. Actually, you know what? I'm going to start off with a little 80, I think. As you heard me say before, cover as much as the ruler as you can. Use your thumbs if you have to. Medium pressure, don't go too fast. And if you're going to just use half, keep your hand on there and use your other hand to control it. This is a really good way to take down some very shallow spots or high spots. It'll also expose anything you might have going on, like I'm seeing right here. Again, I like to use this because it bends and it twists just enough. Medium pressure, not too fast. All right, I'm going to drop down or go up to 180. That's me cleaning off the paper. You want to have clean paper. Whether you're banging on your workbench or you're banging on something like this, or one of my favorite things is this. Keep the paper clean. Clogged paper doesn't do you any good. still see it there. That's okay. I was expecting that. You know what? Maybe I'll get in there right now. Do a little prying while I'm only down to the 180. And I could see it. There's a lot of times I can't see stuff till I'm down to 400. And that could still happen. I mean, that could still happen that somewhere in here, while I'm not really feeling it, when I get down to 240, 320, certainly 400, something might rear its head toward the end. But right now I can see where this is. So, in fact, what do I have right here? Do I have a little 320 on here? Yeah. Okay, ever so. It's right by that hole too. It's a good possibility I could catch this. This. I don't know. No, I'm out here more. I need to be over here. So let's go back to, well, I've been having a lot of luck with this guy today. Let's see if I can't get it up in there. Maybe. May have to do a little hammer on dolly here, maybe not. Oh, I think I got it. Well, I do have it. I think I got it. We got it. We got it, guys. We'll continue on now with the 180. It's a little bit longer. And then I'll go up to the 240. Am I at 240 yet, or am I still on 180? Okay. All right. Got a mess going here, but it's okay. Here. Okay. Let's cut it down to 240.
What are you pointing at? Oh.
Nice shirt. Susie's making shirts. I like it. On the yellow, looks really good. Okay. We got to come up with some tank banger logos, maybe a tank banger tune for the opening of the show. Tank banger shirts. How about a shirt that says Joe Body Bang My Tank? Too promiscuous? Possibly. I'm down to the 320. All right. Little 400. Amsoil glass cleaner. I love this stuff. Another great product from Amsoil. I use it to clean up aluminum when I'm sanding, especially down at the end like this to get it nice and clean. But it works incredibly well on what it was designed for, windows. I'll give you a good look at this bolt in the back too now that I have it out of here. See that? See how I did that? The vise isn't on the bolt, it's on that nut. You got some kind of wheel spacer in there. Take up a little room on the bolt. There's the hole we've been working through for the top of the tank. There's one on each side too. All right, we put in some time today on Tank Bangers, huh? Just about an hour and 20 minutes. And I still have that spot left. Right there. We've got one here. But this, how straight is it, guys? Go ahead, say it. Straight as what? Straight as John Wayne. That's right. Okay? It's as straight as John Wayne. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 8:55 with another episode of today's Moto Minute, followed right afterward by another Tank Bangers episode. Coming up at noon today, our first installment of Next Time Try This. That will be on the Vintage Motocross Q&A page as well as YouTube. It'll be on my personal Facebook page too. But wherever you're watching this from, please go to the Vintage Motocross Q&A page. Give us a like, share, and follow. Don't forget to support all of our wonderful sponsors that help out with our Vintage Motocross Q&A show. International Motocross Museum, Motion Pro, Bultaco East, Preston Petty Products, Full Circle Racing, Motion Pro, and of course, Vintco. I'll be back tomorrow at 8:55 with another episode of Tank Bangers and today's Moto Minute.